7-6, day 2. This is the back half of that lesson. So the back half has examples with a greatest common factor. So your first step in all of these is to find your greatest common factor and then figure out if it's a difference of squares and factor it from there. So these are a little bit trickier. Number 21, you've got 2n squared minus 72. So if you have two terms, you're looking at a difference of squares. Is that a perfect square? No. Is that a perfect square? No. Is that a subtraction sign? Yes. So if we can get to perfect squares, we can factor this. So look at your numbers. You've got 2 and 72. What do 2 and 72 have in common? Well, they have a 2 in common. So I'm going to divide both of these by a 2. Write it out front. 2n squared divided by 2 is just n squared. 72 divided by 2 is 36. Now I look at what's in my parentheses. So look right here. Perfect square. Perfect square. That's a subtraction sign. So this inside the parentheses is a difference of squares. But my greatest common factor still has to go out front. So I'm going to have 2 and then 2 sets of parentheses. N squared splits into n and n. 36 splits into 6 and 6. We're going to have a plus 6 and a minus 6. Putting that 2 out front is crucial because that's part of this expression. Okay? So number 22. Perfect square? No. Perfect square? No. Subtraction sign? Yeah. So we have to look at our numbers, 18 and 50. What do 18 and 50 have in common? Well, again, they have a 2. So divide both of those by 2, put our 2 out front. 18 divided by 2 is 9, so that's 9x squared minus, what's 50 divided by 2? Well, that's 25. Oops, there we go. 9x squared is a perfect square. 25 is a perfect square. So 2 parentheses. There we go. 9x squared splits into 3x and 3x. 25 splits into 5 and 5. 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. Ba-doop. Number 23, you've got 32s squared minus 18u squared. Perfect square? No. No. Hey, subtraction sign. So what do 32 and 18 have in common? Well, guess what number we're going to go with again? If you guessed 2, you would be correct. Divide by 2, divide by 2, put your 2 out front. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So 16s squared minus 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 9u squared. Oops, there we go. Perfect square, subtraction sign. We can factor it. So 16s squared splits into 4s and 4s. 9u squared splits into 3u and 3u. We're going to have a plus sign and a minus sign. All right, 24. This one's not 2. If you're looking, you've got 45 and 20. Well, some alarm bells should be going off at this point. Your greatest common factor on this one is going to be 5. Both of these numbers are divisible by 5. Now, not just 5. You've got a q cubed and a q. Which of those is the smallest? The q. So that's what we're going to divide by is a 5q, and we're going to put it out front. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Q cubed divided by q is q squared minus 20 divided by 5 is 4. Q over q, those cancel. That's perfect square. That's perfect square. That's a subtraction sign. We got to keep going. So 5q parentheses. 9q squared splits into 3q and 3q. 4 splits into 2 and 2. 3q plus 2, 3q minus 2. All right, 25. You've got 24a squared and 54b squared. So this one, you've got to think pretty hard. Your GCF, your greatest common factor, is the largest number that goes into both of these. So if you tried 2, well, 2 goes into both, but 2 isn't the largest. 4 does not go into both, but 6 does. And this is just knowing your factors. We've kind of gone through greatest common factor, but a lot of this is, and if you need to, take 24 and split it out. It's 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Which of those go into 54? So that does, we don't care. That does, it's pretty small. That is your largest one. Ooh, no, it's not. 4 is not your largest. Ha ha ha. Would you look at that? 4 doesn't even go in. I already said that. My brain's slipping. I'm sorry. 6. 6 is your largest. There we go. Moving on. Now that I've got my wits back about me, 6 goes in. So we're going to divide both of these by 6. And I think with your greatest common factor, I had you start on this side instead. So we went 24, 12, 8, 6, down that way. Pretty sure we did it that way. So 6 parentheses. Oops. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So 4a squared minus 54 divided by 6 is 9. So it's a 9b squared. So 6 parentheses, 4a squared splits into 2a and 2a. 9b squared splits into 3b and 3b. You're going to have 2a plus 3b and 2a minus 3b. $26. All right. 26. You've got 100b cubed and 36b. Do you notice how up here we had the q cubed in the q? Now we've got the b cubed in the b. So you should know that we're going to be dividing by at least a b. So we need to look at 36 to 100. So 36 is 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. We need to know the largest of those that goes into 100. So 36, no. 18, no. 12, no. 9, no. 6, no. 4 goes into 100. So we're going to be dividing by a 4b. 4b goes out front. Oops, it would help if you could see. So 100b cubed divided by 4b is 25b squared. 36b divided by 4b is 9. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to split that up. 4b, double parentheses. 25b squared splits into 5b and 5b. 9 splits into 3 and 3. We're going to have a plus 3 and a minus 3. Number 27. You've got 80 n to the 4th and 125 n squared. Which of those variables is the smallest? N squared is the smallest, so I know I'm at least dividing by an n squared. Now I've got to figure out what number these have in common. So 80 splits into 1 and 80, 2 and 40, 3 does not go in, 4 goes in 20 times, 5 goes in 16 times, 6 doesn't, 7 doesn't, and 8 goes in 10 times. Well, start going down through. Which of these numbers goes into 125? Well, no. Yes. So we're going to divide by a 5n squared. So 80 n to the 4th divided by 5n squared is going to leave us with 16n squared minus 125n squared divided by 5n squared is going to leave us with 25. That's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and split it. So 16n squared splits into 4n and 4n. 25 splits into 5 and 5. So plus 5 minus 5. Number 28. All right. 8x squared y minus 32y cubed. Sorry, I've got a child crying outside. I think they're just fighting over pretend tea. All right, largest number that goes into both of these. So if you've got a y and a y cubed, you know for sure you're yanking the smallest y out, right? 82 and 32. If this is not ringing alarm bells for you, oh boy. 8 goes into 32, children. So we're going to divide both sides by an 8y. So take the 8y out. 8x squared y divided by 8y leaves you with x squared. Minus 32y cubed divided by 8y is a 4y squared. Oops. That's what we want. We're going to go ahead and split it. So x squared splits into x and x. 4y squared splits into 2y and 2y. That's a plus. That's a minus. I forgot to box in my last answer, didn't I? All right, I think we're going to do one more of these and be done because these are pretty repetitive. Which one do I want to do? I think I want to do 29. All right. Yeah, I want to do 29. So you got a p cubed and a p. We know that p should be coming out. And 9 goes into 36. How many times? It goes in 4 times. So 9 goes into both of these. So we're going to divide by a 9p. Write it out front. So that leaves us with 4p squared minus 1. The reason I wanted to do this one, don't just cross this out and assume it disappears. 9 divided by 9 is still 1. So that 1 is there. And then from here, that's what we want. So 9p, parentheses, 2p, 2p, 1, 1, plus minus. And we are done with the second half of this lesson, boys and girls. Let me know if you have any questions.